script, I walked up to the group at the networking event and smiled. Hi everyone. They kept talking, not even a glance in my direction. I stood there for a moment, uncertain. Then I tried again a little louder. Hey, how's everyone doing? Nothing. It was like I was invisible. One of them was my colleague Brian. We worked in the same department. We'd had coffee together last week. Now he was actively avoiding eye contact. I felt my face getting hot. Other people were starting to notice. A woman across the room gave me a sympathetic look. I walked away as calmly as I could and went to the bar. My hands were shaking as I ordered a drink. That was brutal to watch. The voice came from beside me, a man in his 50s wearing a company badge from a different firm. I'm Robert Kelly. What did you do to deserve the freeze out? I have no idea, but that wasn't entirely true. 3 days ago, I'd spoken up in a meeting. Our team had been about to pursue a client strategy that I knew was flawed. I'd presented data showing it wouldn't work. I'd been polite but firm. My manager had been annoyed. Brian had been on the team that developed the strategy. They'd ignored my concerns and moved forward anyway. Yesterday, I'd been proven right. The client rejected the proposal exactly the way I'd predicted. Apparently, being right was worse than being wrong. Robert looked at me thoughtfully. Let me guess, you challenged something in a meeting, made someone look bad. Now you're being punished. How did you know? Because I've been in corporate environments for 30 years. This is what insecure people do when their egos are threatened. So, what do? You have 3 options. You can apologize for being right, which is humiliating but sometimes necessary. You can fight it, which will probably make things worse. Or you can find somewhere that values people who speak up. I sipped my drink and watched Brian across the room, laughing with the same group that had ignored me. The next week at work was worse. I'd walk into the break room and conversations would stop. I'd send emails that got one-word responses. In meetings, my suggestions were met with silence. It was like I'd been erased. My manager called me in on Thursday. Kelly, I'm hearing you're having some interpersonal issues with the team. They're freezing me out because I was right about the client proposal, she sighed. That's not what they're saying. They're saying you're difficult to work with, that you're not a team player. I presented data in a meeting. That's my job. It's how you present things that matters. You embarrassed Brian and his team. I disagreed with the strategy, professionally. Well, it didn't feel professional to them. And now we have a morale issue. I stared at her. So I'm the problem because I tried to prevent a failed pitch? I'm not saying you're the problem. I'm saying you need to think about how your actions affect others. She was absolutely saying I was the problem. That night I called a friend who'd left the company 6 months earlier. Is this normal? Being punished for speaking up at that place? Absolutely. Why do you think I left? They don't want people who challenge things. They want people who go along. I started job searching that weekend. It took 2 months, but I found a position at a smaller firm. During the interview, I asked about company culture, about how they handled disagreement. We want people who speak up, the director said. If you see something that doesn't work, we need to know. That's how we improve. I gave my notice the next day. My manager seemed shocked. You're leaving? Because of one disagreement? I'm leaving because speaking the truth made me a pariah. Because being right was treated like being wrong. Because I was ignored and excluded for doing my job. I think you're being oversensitive.